A little while ago here on the channel, I tested out a cooler that was coming in at such a good price point. This was the T4 Snowman from Aliexpress. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll put the link up here, where the verdict on this cooler was that it was under 20 bucks and also it had low noise and good cooling performance. And today you guys have asked me to check out the 6 heat pipe version, which is named the T6, as well as the RGB version, which of course just has an RGB fan instead of the included white fan. And I thought, while we're on that note, we might as well get another couple of cheap RGB coolers from AliExpress and test them out in a separate test, as well as compare it to the Aorus Liquid Cooler 280. They sent this in and they said, Brian, you've got to test out our new liquid cooler and see how it performs. And we'll also throw in Deepcool's Dual Tower cooler, which is currently the best air cooler you can get on the market. Welcome back to Tech Yes City, and starting from right to left, we've got here the Snowman T4 with the original fan. And this is coming in at 554 grams, and it's currently the cheapest of these 3 Snowmans, coming in at $16 shipped worldwide, which is an incredibly good price. And as I said before in the intro with the original video, I was impressed with the value for money this was bringing to the table. Though of course, this one here is coming in at $18.50. So you're gonna be paying $2.50 RGB tax, and it's coming in with a weight of 581 grams. So the fan's a little bit heavier with the dual rings included. But one thing I've noticed already is that the fan size is actually a little bit smaller than the white version. So you do get slightly more blades, with the 12 centimeter fans also having a difference where this RGB fan is actually 10 centimeters on the inner diameter and the white fan is 11 centimeters on the inner diameter. So technically it's a bigger fan on the cheaper version. So RGB tax coming into this isn't already looking that good. But then we move over to the T6, and this weighs in at 633 grams. It's gonna set you back $22 shipped. So you're paying essentially $6 more than the original for 2 more heat pipes and a cooler that's slightly heavier. And then behind that, we've got an interesting unidentified type object here with Great Wall. Now, I have heard of this brand before, and this one's coming in close to $14 shipped, or $13.90. Now, it's got an inner diameter with this fan being 85 mil, and same with this cooler beside it, the Cool Moon, which also features RGB, just doesn't look like it'll be as cool in terms of its looks as the Great Wall, but this has also got 85 mil and it's coming in with $8 shipped worldwide. So that's a very competitive price. And now, of course, these coolers each weighing in, with this one 255 grams and then the cheaper Cool Moon 185 grams. Of course, I'm not going to be testing them on a Ryzen 9 3900X. It would just be way too much for both these little coolers. So I'm going to be testing them on an i7 2600 on an H61 motherboard, which I feel a lot of people getting these cheap coolers will be coupling them with either cheap Xeons or cheap i5s and i7s that aren't overclockable. And now, with all those stress tests and cooling out of the way, we are back with a verdict, and that is that the Snowman RGB LED actually looks pretty cool. But without wasting any more of your time, let's pull up those results for you guys, where the first thing that sprung out to me was that RGB tax. And not only are you losing performance, but you're also raising the noise. And I must admit, it does look pretty cool, but you are coming at a cost now of your CPU temperature being raised. And this, of course, in turn does raise the wattage ever so slightly, especially on something like a Ryzen 9 3900X. And so this is where that RGB argument is definitely starting to come back into focus of what was the original intent of something like a CPU cooler like the Snowman. For me personally, it's to bring temperatures down, bring noise down, and of course, raise overclocks and get better performance. And in the case of the Snowman directly, its sole purpose, in my opinion, is to bring the best value to the market. So with the Snowman T4 RGB still being able to handle the temperatures on a Ryzen 9 3900X, I feel that it does so whilst losing out to the other four options here on the graph. And of course, for me personally, the T4 still remains the value king in that it's 16 bucks and it's still only coming in roughly a degree behind that of the T6, which of course, they do share the same fan. And that fan included is actually a really good option. Now, I do also feel like the T6 could benefit from better cooling performance since it is soaking up more heat with the 6 heat pipes if it had an even higher airflow fan on it than the included Snowman fan. But that might be a different topic for a different day because we've got a lot of results here to go through. And what we saw with the Aorus 280mm water cooler that they sent over, it wasn't that impressive. I mean, it did look very fancy and it did have an LED display on the actual base unit itself, but for what it's worth, it didn't do that great of a job, with it only beating out Deepcool's option by 1 degree. And when we set the fan speeds to 100%, what we had here also was apples to apples to apples, where the only difference then was the fans included and the noise on that unit. So I was surprised to see that the Wraith Prism was doing very well at 100% fan speeds, beating that of the RGB Snowman cooler. So that was nice to see that. I was impressed with those results. So the RGB bling does come at a cost in this test, but me personally, when I look at RGB bling, I usually like to go for it in terms of the case fans, especially with those ring fans, including them on the front of the case, the rear of the case. That's where the eyes tend to be drawn to that bling rather than on the CPU itself. Of course, having that RGB bling on the CPU cooler does help, but in this case, since it's the direct thing cooling the CPU, you want the best performance possible, in my opinion, especially if you're going for overclocks like we did here with the Ryzen 9 3900X. I was actually pretty surprised. At 1.28 volt, it was handling 4.2 gigahertz absolutely fine. Keep in mind, I do believe the 3900X that I have here is a golden sample. It does run really nicely, where I got it to 4.35 gigahertz all-core clocks, and this is in 25C ambient environments. So the temperatures aren't exactly the best here at my studio, but this is the temperatures that I like to live in personally. So the verdict coming off the back of those numbers for me personally was that the original Snowman T4 is not only the cheapest in the bunch, it's also, for me personally, ringing true with the best value. And so the T6, even though it's heavier and it's got 6 heat pipes as opposed to 4, it will technically saturate heat better than the 4 heat pipe version, but in this case you are limited by the original included fan, which is the same as the T4 as it is on the T6. So if you wanted to step things up to that T6 cooler, then I would recommend getting a higher airflow fan, and then we should see some lower temperatures. But for what it's worth, all the Snowman coolers offer exceptional value for money, and they'll pretty much cool any overclockable mainstream CPU with ease. Maybe not the 9900 KS, but that thing, I've got to keep that underwater at 5 gigahertz, otherwise it just gets too hot. But anyway, let's set up the H61 motherboard and then run through those 2 budget coolers to see if they can handle the job. So now these 2 RGB coolers, I don't know what to say. Basically, we had an i7 2600 getting up to 86 degrees on the UFO, and that was at 41 decibels. So the noise was pretty much the same as the Snowman at full speed 100%, and the Snowman's 16 bucks, and this one's $14. Of course, you do get that fancy RGB, and I must admit it does look pretty cool if you're going to put it in any sort of build that's low power. But the fact that the CPU got up to 86 degrees, it's a non-overclockable i7 2600 in 25C, did leave me scratching my head. That is a little bit hot for what I'm used to, especially when I'm forking out 14 USD, and especially since the T4 is only another $2, and I know that would do a much better job of cooling down this i7 2600. But to make things even worse, we had the Cool Moon $8 cooler. That's got the RGB bling too. Doesn't look as cool as the UFO, but of course it does come in at a significantly lower cost. and that's getting 93 degrees, and that's coming in with 45 decibels. So the bottom line is that both these coolers, if you're running into summer and your ambients are really hot and you don't have your aircon on, both these CPUs could technically throttle, and they'd just be getting to temperatures, and they're already actually running at temperatures that I'm not that comfortable with. I mean, 86 degrees, that's probably like the maximum for me personally if I was running a Sandy Bridge CPU overclocked. But the fact it's not overclocked and it's getting that hot, and then 93 degrees, that's not sitting that well with me personally. So the UFO cooler is okay, but the Cool Moon's really pushing it, especially since if we whacked it in a cheap case with limited airflow, we'd probably be starting to throttle on the Cool Moon and getting very close to throttling on the UFO. And the UFO is still coming in at 14 USD, so the price performance really isn't there. But I guess maybe we've got to make a new metric here on the channel, and that is the RGB price performance, where we're getting a lot of bling on these coolers, but we're not getting a whole lot of actual cooling performance. And with all that out of the way, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, then be sure to hit that like button for us. Also, let us know in the comments section today, what was your favorite cooler of the bunch? And also, have you tried out the Snowman yet? I was really hyped when I tried it out with the T4, and coming out of this video, I'm still hyped about the original T4, which is coming in with that really good value for money sweet spot. But before we get on out of here, we've also got the question of the day, which comes from Jamie Cullen, and he asks, what keyboard and mouse did you use in this video? And he's talking about the previous video we did with the all Aliexpress PC. I'll put the link up here if you haven't seen it yet. But basically, this is called the Alcatraz Explorer with minus the E 2000 SL, and it's a keyboard and mouse combo that I get for 12 Aussie dollars. And honestly, it's a really good value for money keyboard and mouse combo, and that it not only looks decent, but I can actually use it without getting annoyed. Like, the build quality is decent and the mouse is actually pretty nice, where all that gameplay footage with Dota 2 and Fortnite, I was doing that on that mouse. So actually quite impressed with that combo. It's one that I can recommend if you're in Australia. Anyway guys, I'll catch you in another tech video very soon. If you've made it this far and you're not subbed yet, may wish to hit that sub button, ring the bell, and you'll get the videos as soon as they drop here at Tech Yes City. And I'll see you next time. Peace out for now. Bye.
You spin me